Hey there, Capricorn. It's Jen here from tarotspirit.net. I'm doing your April 2020 tarot card reading. So what do we have going on this month? We have full moon in Libra on April 8th and a new moon in a fellow earth sign. We have a new moon April 23rd in Taurus. Taurus energy I've been feeling very strongly. Of course, we move into Taurus, obviously, the end of the month. Hope everyone's well. I don't get to use this much, but I have a public health degree, so please take this seriously and stay home and wash your hands and do the best you can, right? It's all we can do. April 2020. Okay, at the bottom of the deck is a Two of Swords. It's interesting, there's this giant full moon in the background and water. So while Swords is an air sign, a sign that has to do with thoughts and the mind, there is a strong emotional component in this decision. So with the water and the moon. So the full moon, again, it was April 8th in Libra, but it could point to the timing of the moons this month, or the Libra and Taurus energy of the moons this month. That may be what you're struggling with, sort of the balance of the cardinal, which means like new beginnings. The cardinal signs begin, they start things, and that those thoughts, the balance of Libra, and the fixed, grounded Taurus energy of wanting to stay where we are, not for things not to change. So the comfort of being grounded and staying with things staying how they are, versus having to wrap your mind around a new way of thinking. Ace of Wands, a passionate new beginning, a new thought, a new spark, an inspiration. This is a very positive card in relationships and work and new ideas and creative ventures. Temperance. This is a balance. It's a Sagittarian card. So you could look back about things that took place in the end of November into December, right before we went into Capricorn season. Or if you're a cusper of Sagittarius, this may resonate. How do we stay balanced? Again, the head and the heart, the changes in thinking versus the comfort of doing things the way they've always been done. That's the big red flag in business if someone new comes in and asks why something is being done a certain way. Maybe they came from somewhere else where they did it a different way and it seemed much more streamlined and more efficient and whatever, better. I had this happen, and then go somewhere else and people are doing things a very antiquated way or a very different way that the way you did it addressed a bunch of problems. But some people are like, well, and so you ask, why are you doing it this way? Well, we've always done it that way, right? That's a red flag. And it doesn't mean the way things have always been done is bad, but if it's sort of that stubborn Taurus energy, well, this is the way we do it. That's not really reason versus, well, we've tried it this way and this way and this way. And this, at this point, is we found to be the best way because of this, and listing the facts, right? So we have the sword versus the emotional, well, we've always done this way and it feels comfortable this way and this is the way we do it here, versus here are the list of reasons why this works over this. Here's the data. That was a weird little tangent. 8 of Cups, walking away from something. Walking away from something that maybe you've been in that is no longer inspirational. You feel out of balance. It no longer feels balanced and right. And something you put a lot of time and energy and emotion into, and it's just not giving you the payback. You can't fix it. You can't change. Here's that full moon again. Ten of Pentacles. Here's a beautiful earth energy. Legacy. What do you want your legacy to be? What legacies were carried down, were handed down to you? Which ones do you want to keep? Which ones need to end? Which ones do you not want to perpetuate? This is looking at the big picture, looking at what's really important in life. The foundation, the family, the legacy, the depth of things. This is a very deep, rich card. It isn't just about inheritance or inherited wealth or money, status of a family. It's the difference between a house and a home, what makes a family connected. Because some families are very superficial, and then some are very connected, and it goes very deep on a very, very deep level, and they're unshakable, right? Wow. Judgment. Yeah. So you've been trying to make been in denial about something, about having to make this decision, but it's come up to the surface now, and you will be making a big decision. And when the Judgment card comes out, this decision, you're making it because it's under this, you need to bring balance. Things have gotten way out of balance in your life, and in some area. It doesn't have to be your whole life, but in some area. And you can't ignore it anymore. You can't be in denial about it anymore. And when you make these decisions, when the Judgment card comes out, they are decisions that will stick. I'd like to use the example, my mom in her 40s decided to start running. And it stuck. At 77, she's going to go walk with it. She walks for me because I can't run. It hurts my knees. So she dumbs it down for her 49-year-old daughter and walks. Don't worry, we're in a very rural area out on a dirt road. We commingle. We live next to each other, so we're self-quarantined. But we don't touch or hug or anything. But so we will go out walking on our dirt road. But it stuck. Like when she made that decision. So this could come up if someone. I see this a lot when people are diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. It's that wake-up call, and they can completely transform their diet and their lifestyle, their diet and exercise, and it sticks. Or someone has a heart attack, or you find out someone you know has a heart attack that are younger than you are, and you think, oh shit, I'm not any healthier or healthier weight or whatever than that person is, and it can be a wake-up call. And thankfully it's so, because this is a Judgment is a wake-up call. It could be for you. We're going to do pull some relationship cards. I see for you it's almost like what you're doing for work, just it's not inspiring. It isn't helping people. It isn't fill in the blank, and you're passionate, inspired to do something else at this time. Ooh, could be love. We'll see with the love cards. You ready for a new relationship, a different type of relationship? Well, and it's right under the 8 of Cups. So some of you may be making the decision to end a relationship this month. If it's not a relationship, something you've put a lot of time and energy into, you've come to the conclusion, you're making the decision that it just isn't working. It isn't working for you anymore. And you're going to move on to something that's you're inspired to do, you're motivated to do, and that emotionally makes you feel good. Nice aces, new beginnings. So let's focus on the new beginnings, the making a decision, and the new fresh starts that's bringing into your life, right? Okay, romance cards. Capricorn, April 2020. Ace of Wands again. Look at that. Oh, too many. Passionate new beginning. You know, sometimes we end up with people that the star, healing, dreaming. What do you want? Your ideal person. I think sometimes we think our ideal person and, oh, that's a fantasy, but I think it's just hard to be patient and wait. For women, we if we want to have kids, there's an expiration date that can be really. Here's the Judgment card again. Holy schnizzle. Knight of Wands. Oh, passion. Okay. All right. We can feel pressured to maybe overlook things or get into relationships because I'm going to be honest, for the biological clock, I felt that. So maybe, or we get to a point and we think, oh, we have to be mature. We have to accept some things. No one's perfect. And we ignore red flags. There are all sorts of things people do in relationships, right? Some people, when they're younger or even when we're older, we're more insecure and we'd rather be in a relationship than be alone, whatever. But I feel like at this point, you've had enough experience and perspective to know that what you want in a relationship is something deeper. It's not superficial. It's not convenient. Oh, you both are attracted to each other, so let's just have a relationship. You connect on like you have similar values and outlooks on life. There's just a depth there. And so you're willing to wait now. You're making a decision to let go of something you pour tons of time and energy and emotion into that just wasn't going to work because you were too different. Now you want someone that you're definitely passionate about. You both are inspired by the same things. You have the same, you're interested in the same things. You have the same sort of outlook, even the same political views. I wonder how many people got divorced over politics in the last few years. But you have to, those are things you don't necessarily tend to think about. You want someone that you can go through tough times with and they can deal with it. I remember when I was younger, I had a boyfriend and he just was like, all of a sudden in retrospect, he was a bit younger than I was. And so he was in his early 20s, mid 20s. I was in my later mid 20s. And I knew intellectually, I knew that that's a big difference between the average man and woman. I feel like, I'm just going to say it, and you can leave a nasty comment, that women, not always, but do tend to grow up a little faster. You can be pissed at me, go ahead. And so that was concerning to me, but he presented as very mature. Long story short, he got very depressed over something that really, in retrospect, wasn't that big of a deal. And I went to counseling and she's like, Jen, it doesn't seem like he handles things very well. There are a lot harder things that will come into life through your life, is this someone that you want to be attached to that way when more significant things happen, like deaths, illnesses, like whatever. So that's the type of quality in a person that you're starting to really understand and look for. And you want someone that's passionate about the same thing. So if you are one political party and it's something you're really passionate about, it might be hard for you to be with someone that isn't interested in politics or has a very different one. Whatever, that's low hanging fruit. If you have certain values about family and how you treat family and the importance of family, and they had a family that wasn't close at all and they just don't seem to get it, like those are things you have to get to know someone and figure out, and it's hard to really realize how important and how to even figure those types of things out at any age, but especially when you're younger. But there is, I mean, you do kind of have it all. So you have perspective. That's the Three of Wands. You guys share the same passion. You may work together. You may start a business together. You may be equally into a cause. Maybe you're both into a humane society or something. So you share a common passage. You have the same hopes and dreams of what you're looking for. And you both have had life experiences and gone through times where you've had to really learn lessons and make decisions so that you both have a similar perspective and decisions about what's important, and they're similar to move forward. So it's pretty deep. But there definitely still is, the sexy time, the passion as well. So it really kind of is the relationship of your dreams. And it doesn't mean it's going to be perfect, but you will be able to work together, working towards the same things and the same goal. Okay, Capricorn, stay home, wash your hands, and be well.